Okay, so how's the tour going so far?
Incredible, really well. Since last time, when we toured in late spring, early summer, it's a very difficult time to tour. So touring now in autumn, early autumn, just after everyone's gone back from their holidays, is a brilliant time to tour. We have a new album out, and the attendances have been really, really good, so we're very, very happy. Reaction has been amazing as well. So
yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you, because I know Pure has got very good reviews.
Yeah.
Because I think probably Believe had a bit of mixed reviews.
It did a little bit because the trouble is, you always get this, I think, with bands. They have sort of a transitional album when you. We had an era where The World, The Window of Life, The Masquerade, Not This World, 4 albums of a certain kind of era. And you have to develop, for your own musical soul. It'd be like eating steak and chips every single night for the rest of your life. You get to the point where you just think, I wonder what chicken would be like. You've got to have a change. And we believe the beginnings of change had already started with that. And the thing is, I think some people struggled with that. So there were some people said, yes, this is fantastic, we like this new sound, and other people said, we want the old sound. But even the audience as well have to move forward as well. And I think with Pure, we've managed to find something which the old audience like as well, and the new audience like even more. So it's kind of solidified an awful lot for Pendragon, because it was quite a risky album to make. When I was doing the writing, I thought some of these things people might find very difficult to hear. They're going to hear some of the kind of harder rock edges here and think, what is this? But you have to challenge people like that. It's like I say, you can't just keep eating the same meal, watching the same film. You must have a different ending, or a different kind of feel to make people feel inspired.
Mm-hmm. I'm not the lyrics yet, but I think on this album you're taking a more down-to-earth approach to lyrics, maybe, as opposed to, for instance, on Not This World you have Dance of the Seven Veil, which was all about lies and treason, taken on a very universal level, and I think this one is maybe more down to earth kind of lyrics.
Well, that's kind of weird you should say that, because a lot of people have said that. I was looking for, sometimes I think when you're writing lyrics, you're trying to create something, you're trying to create something poetic out of some very basic ideas, and with those sort of albums it worked very well. You take something like Dance of the Seven Veils, which was all about betrayal, being betrayed, and in the black and white words it doesn't sound very interesting, but when you use words like Traitor's Gate, you're linking it to something you're romanticizing betrayal. With Pure, I didn't do that. With Pure, I said very directly, you're right about that, very directly, the first things that came out of my heart to say about this subject. I didn't try and romanticize it, I said what it felt. So it's had a very different feel to it.
This Fish from earlier, who you play with him on Lorelei,
yeah.
I think he told you got a rock here, I remember.
I did, yeah.
And I guess it's true, because now I see the DVD of the last tour and now the Red stage. And for instance, Master of Illusion is much more rockier. It's kind of, you took a different approach.
It just kind of, I don't know how that sort of happened, it just ended up being like that. Sometimes when you play a song live, it starts to take on a bit of a life of its own. And when you play it for 10 years, over 10 years, which is, Masters of Illusion is over 10 years old, it just develops and develops and develops, and it's incredible to see it coming out now as something with so much aggression, but that, I guess, is how we feel as a band now. We kind of slightly, we're not really mellowing into band middle age, when bands sort of go, we've been going for 30 years. Yeah, they start to soften up a bit and just think they can't really be bothered with the fans anymore, and they can't be bothered with anything really. They just do it because they're trying to make some money, or they're just trying to keep the whole thing going. But the thing is, we have kind of moments of what we call a road to Damascus moment, where it just kind of is completely redefined, and there was a tremendous new kind of feeling, more aggressive, in Pendragon towards what we were doing. And I think, we'd had a lot of criticism from people, and that makes you react. It's like a bear in a cage. You've got a bear in a cage and you keep prodding it with a stick. Sooner or later, it's going to bite your fucking hand off. And that's what we've had a lot of criticism from the music press and things, and we reacted, and this is what we've done. We feel kind of very strongly about what we do, so that's how it's kind of shown in the live performances and in some of the new material as well.
Master Relations come from Massacre at Virtue, which is your most successful album so far.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And that was 95,
96.
96. And that was in a time when the internet had just become this new interest in marketing tool as well as interactive thing. And now it's changed radically, and you released a statement on your website telling people off of downloading your music. You haven't gone as far as Metallica, suing your own fans. But what's your take on it right now?
Well, the thing is about it is, I'm not on, people seem to, this is human, a very big human failing, is that people always want finite answers. It either is or it isn't, And if you do not have one or the other, then you're sort of seen as being wrong. But you can change your mind also, and you can fall somewhere in the middle, which is what I believe. All I think is that if I can let people know that by downloading our music instead of buying it, it seriously damages the possibility of the band to carry on. There are 3 different levels for downloading. I mean, there's big bands like Madonna and Radiohead, who they've got so many fans who will go to a concert. They can put a ticket price at something like $200, and people will pay it, and they will make a lot of money. And that's a lot more higher ticket price than it was 10 years ago. I mean, much greater than the rate of inflation. T-shirts as well, 25, 35 pounds. They're making a lot of money out of this, so they're able to counteract record sales. Most of them signed to major record companies, which meant that getting royalties was not really that great anyway. They get the publishing money, they get the advances for that, but getting money from record sales, was they're always paying back for the albums, they're paying back for the videos. So for big bands like that, having something like illegal downloading or people downloading en masse is not a terrible thing. It's quite a good thing. The bands who are very small, amateur bands, some little town somewhere, if 25 people a day go to their MySpace and listen to them, or 25 people download their music, they are as happy as pigs in shit, because normally no one will bother, so they're very happy. The bands it affects is the ones in the middle.
Yeah.
Bands who cannot sell big amounts of albums, cannot get lots of people at concerts, cannot put t-shirt prices, and these are the bands that are usually the most interesting bands, because they're not really lured by massive commercial success, but they're big enough to have built their own following, and they've created something. I mean, all the bands like Marillion, the level of like Marillion, to bands like us, in that kind of area, will be very seriously affected by illegal downloading. And, all I'm trying to let people know is that, hey, I'm not going to come and burn your house down if I catch you doing it, because, I've got pirated software probably that I don't even know about on my computer, or things like this that, you just get. But it's a learning thing, the process that someone says, hang on a minute, look, somebody is losing out. And to be quite honest, I don't really care too much about the big corporations, but the little guys, they're doing things, and they really need that to survive. To me, that's what touches my heart. And so, we've heard so many bands smaller than us, have written in and said that, we've had a terrible time. We can't even afford to pay for the pressing of our CD because everyone's downloaded it. These bands are really struggling. Some bands will say, yeah, it's a great thing, but they don't do it for a living. They have another job.
Yeah.
So they're quite happy. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
If you're doing a job and you make music, it's a hobby.
And if they sell 500 copies, it's for them like, oh, great.
Right, exactly.
And